All right, so we're on to our final step here where we're gonna make sure that, we've changed our title to appropriately reflect that actually this is not just 2021. We're looking at our 5-year forest coverage. Okay. We're gonna make sure that we've gone through and we've done a little bit of cleanup. We're gonna rename our field headings so that it looks really clean in here. We're gonna address these little design pieces as we're getting familiar with specifically the 5 years of data that we're going to be working with. All right. So we've created this initial table just to confirm again that we have a complete set of information. Okay. You'll notice that we have both countries and aggregates like the Arab world, things like this. So just to keep that in mind as we're going through this process. Okay, so I've identified that between 2017 and 2021, I have pretty complete data on forest coverage as percentage of overall land in all areas. So now I want to create a calculated field to tell me the year-over-year change in this indicator. So I'm going to click on Analysis, and I'm going to come down to Create a Calculated Field. I'm going to name this Year-over-year Change. And I'm going to remember my PEMDAS, my order of operations here when I'm doing this. So to calculate year-over-year change, we take the final value to start. So our most recent year in this case, which is 2021. I'm going to drag it on here. I just hold the mouse, drag it on here. We're going to track that from our starting year or initial value. Okay. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to divide that by the initial value again and multiply that entire thing by 100. All right. My calculation is valid. If it wasn't, it would tell me down here. So I'm going to apply this, click OK, and then I'm going to quickly double click on it to bring it on over here to my mark and take a peek in it. So I now can see that, there we go, there's been some changes. So what I can see is that year over year, some places have had, a decrease in forested area, and others have had an increase in forested area. It looks like Bahrain has managed to increase by 11% their forested area, whereas, Cote d'Ivoire has reduced it by almost 15%. So this indicator now helps me because it will allow me to get some really great visual information. All right, so I'm going to leave this sheet alone. I've done a little bit of exploration. I've got a good idea on my data. I've also done a year-over-year calculation. And then I am going to, as a percent of sort of overall change that has occurred. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and create a new worksheet really quickly to put this on the map. I'm going to go ahead and double click again on my country name. Can I get my dots? In this case, I want to do the filled dimension. All right. And I'm going to drag this measure that I just created, this year-over-year change, onto my color. So what's going to happen here is, depending on where these countries fall on the spectrum, whether they had extreme deforestation, which we're seeing has had a large impact over these last 5 years, and African and South American and general North America too, Central America and Pacific Islands, than it has in some other areas which have experienced actually positive, efforts towards reforestation. All right, so this is one of my visual maps here. So I have now created a year-over-year change visual. So I'm going to rename this. So the assignment for us this week is to create 2 visuals. Year-over-year change in forest area coverage, we will say. Okay.